everybody, it's Jenny, and today I'm excited to be sharing another project for Miss Ink Stamps. And for my video today, I'm going to be creating a soft pastel card using some layering stencils inside of some other layering stencils. So to get started, we'll take a quick peek at the items I'll be using on today's card. And the first one is the Ins and Outs Hollywood stencil. And next up is the Flower Shower layering stencils. And for my main image, I'll be using the Pretty Bird stamp set, which is quickly becoming one of my favorites. So from there, I'm going to bring in a piece of white cardstock, which I trimmed down to 6x6, and I did that so it lined up exactly with my stencil, and that way it would be easier to trim down the edges to an A2 size once I was finished with my ink blending. I held everything in place with some washi tape, and then I brought in some spun sugar distress oxide, and I'm just going to go ahead and lightly ink that up around the edges of my stencil. Next, I'm going to add the frame layer for the Ins and Outs stencil, and I'm going to bring in some black soot distress ink and go ahead and get a nice crisp black outline. After I have the black frame part inked in, I'm going to go ahead and bring in that first stencil again and line that up. And then I'm going to layer the Flower Shower layering stencil on top of that and bring in the spun sugar again to create some flowers. Next, I'm going to bring in that second piece of that stencil that creates the leaves and flower centers, and I'm just going to line that up and hold that in place with some more washi tape. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring in some cracked pistachio distress oxide and then ink in those leaves. And then to add a little something extra to my background, I'm going to use some Ranger liquid pearls to fill in the flower centers. And here's a closer look at my finished background. I'm just going to go ahead and set that aside to dry, and in the meantime I'm going to color up this image from the Pretty Bird stamp set. After I finish coloring, I'm going to bring in a white Jelly Roll pen to add some dot highlights. And then I'll go ahead and fussy cut out my image. For my sentiment, I decided to bring in the Everyday Sentiments, and I'm going to stamp out the Hugs and Kisses stamp onto some black cardstock with Versamark ink, and then heat emboss that with some white embossing powder. After I have that all nice and melted, I'm going to go ahead and trim down my cardstock to create a banner. I also cut out a heart shape from a piece of vellum so that I had something to center my image on so it didn't look like it was kind of just floating there. And then I went ahead and cut out an A2 size from a piece of black cardstock and then trimmed down my ink blended background piece so that it would leave a 1/8 inch border. Once all my pieces were trimmed out and ready to go, I attached everything with some liquid glue to an A2 size white card base and popped up my sentiment with a piece of foam tape. And here's my finished card. I love how the overall look is really soft and pastel, but at the same time it's full of layers and different textures, and I think it's super cute. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!